All right, we are now live on YouTube. I am just showing myself for a second because I need for everybody to understand about what's about to happen here. We are about to introduce the main star of this show. This is Perry Necessary. And the main star of this show, his name is Jeffrey Jordan. That's him. That's him right there, everybody. Jeffrey Jordan. So I need
Oh
for you to
man.
understand who we are dealing with here. We're dealing with the star of this show. We're dealing with the person that founded this show. We're dealing with the person that everybody comes here to see, to hear about, to find out his thoughts, his opinions on everything in the Tyler Perry universe. This man that you're looking at right here is the reason that all of us are here. So please pay close attention to every word that he speaks. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Jeffrey Jordan.
Wow, such a long and outdrawn intro, but thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? What's up, TikTok? What's up, Sir Daryl? And what's up, Tika Deshawn from All Things Ruthless? What's up, y'all?
Hey.
What's up? Thank you for having me.
No problem. So we just finished watching the latest and greatest episode of Sisters. We're gonna be playing a game called Picture It in a minute, but we're just gonna bust down a few key iconic scenes from the last episode just to get you guys up to speed. Anything that sticks out from you guys from the last episode that we just watched?
Yeah, the horrible editing. I won't go any further.
Or aside from that, the horrible editing. Um, we talked about. Oh, okay. So for those of you who are watching, the bad editing. Sir Daryl pointed out that Fatima and Zax they were home in one scene, and then in the next scene they were at the hospital
They
at the
started
same
out
time. Is that what we're talking about?
they started out the episode with them at the hospital calling Andy to let her know what happened. And then two scenes later, they were back at the house before they ever went to the hospital. Yes.
So I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some people that's gonna try and make sense of it. So if
No.
you can, let us know if you can, because I can
You
make sense of it.
yeah.
Another iconic scene, well, not iconic, but a silly scene that I didn't like. Sabrina bringing her boyfriend to Danny's house when Danny thought she was having a heart attack. And like I said when we were on Facebook, I said, Danny's at her lowest right now. You're bringing your boyfriend who doesn't know Danny, gawking and staring at her, which is just plain wrong. What was your stance on that, Tika?
Yeah, I definitely thought that was just way too much. He should not have been there. He should have, if he was going to accompany Sabrina in support of her, he should have stayed outside, if either in the car or even in the hallway, just to stay out of the way and let Danny as well as Sabrina have their one-on-one time so they can figure out what was really going on with her. But at the end of the day, he was just a distraction.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Sir Darrell, what was your views on that scene?
Um I, I I feel like he shouldn't have been there, but I understood why he was there. So yeah, I understood, even though I thought it was wild.
So wait, how did you understand for Sabrina's boyfriend being there? What makes you understand that?
What makes me understand it is that he wants to know what's going on so he could get his boy the information. I mean, it's guys are not so different from girls, and from the standpoint of loyalty and wanting to gossip and wanting to pass back information, that it just kind of makes sense.
No, and I get that. Like everybody wants to see a train wreck. Everybody wants to be nosy, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be able to justify my actions. Yes. Do I want to know? Do I want to see? We all do. But what I'm arguing is that he shouldn't have been there. The invitation shouldn't have come from Sabrina. That's what I'm
Okay.
going to blame ultimately. Because he doesn't owe Danny anything, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So
yeah. From that
ultimately
standpoint,
it's
yeah,
Sabrina's fault.
yeah. I completely agree. Hey, can I pause this for just 1 second? I'm bringing in this screen. Not that we actually have a caller because we do not, but I need to add some comments here.
I see your over angel.
Yeah,
She be
so
going off on me, boy.
everyone is clowning that editing job, and please, for those of you all who are talking about it, clowning that editing job, would you tell Jeffrey Jordan that that scene at the hospital where Hayden tells Andy that she has her leave has been extended, that whole entire scene played out on a previous episode? Please let him know about that. Not just part of it, all of it. All right. All things.
I just don't remember.
That's all right. I just want them to tell you. That's all. All things ruthless says, "Hey there,"
That's
and one.
my channel. What's up?
The sisters always overstep each other's boundaries. All right. All right. Going back.
Ba 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 ba. Danny calling her therapist versus calling an ambulance initially. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't understand that. That's wild to me.
Tika?
Yeah, I thought the first come if you feel like you're having a heart attack would be to call an ambulance. However, I don't know, maybe she already because Krisha is a medical professional, maybe she thought she could kind of get there to kind of help her through whatever it was. And if in fact it was a heart attack, then she would automatically know, hey, let me go ahead and call this ambulance. Yeah, I don't understand why she didn't call. I know Andy as well as Karen, they got their own stuff going on. And plus, even if they didn't have anything going on, they would be absolutely judgmental towards Danny, which is why she wouldn't call them first, but why she didn't call Sabrina, that threw me as well.
No.
Okay. With that, um, did you give an answer, Sir Darrell?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Rich, there was a scene where Rich, he may have issues reproducing, and there may some be some issues with his sperm. I feel like, do you guys think that Sabrina is going to stick around? Will she will she will she pretend to be okay with this? Will she really be okay with this? I'm going to start with you first this time, Sir Darrell. So, how do you think Sabrina is going to take this if, in fact, Rich can't have kids?
I honestly, I don't think that's going to be a deal breaker at all. I think the deal breaker is, in fact, I don't think she's going to blink that much of an eye because she already has her plan. There was just a recent detour. I think that if it turns out that he can't have children, then all she's going to want to know is, I'm still having this kid. Are you on board or are you jumping ship? What do you want to do? I think that's going to be her attitude. And his response to that is going to be determinative of whether or not she sticks around.
Tika, same question.
Um, I I think his problem is going to become her problem. She is known for taking on, she's like an empath. She takes on other people's pains and dramas and issues. So I think that she's going to take the focus of her wanting to actually have a child and focus on why he can't, if that's the case, have a child. I could be absolutely wrong, but I think she's going to stick there beside him.
Lord, Lord. Anybody who have comments, you can call in at 312-585-7280. Um, I okay, so your Oval Angel says Sabrina is calling Demani back. So I believe so that's the guy's name, the ex coworker. Well, not ex coworker, but Sabrina's boss. That's his name.
Oh, the sperm
Yep,
donor.
and donor.
Yeah, yeah.
I think your Oval Angel. I think
Yep.
that ship is sailed. That guy is not coming. He is not coming back to help her out. You know, he seemed to be interested in Sabrina, but she backtracked and took Rich. So, I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to go back to that. And I don't think, Sir Daryl, your comment was that Sabrina, she already has a plan set up. So it's either jump on board because the train is going to keep going. I feel like the plan that she had set up was broken in shambles because she doesn't have a donor anymore.
She didn't
Unless it's
have.
going to be some random person.
There was going to be a random person
Go ahead.
until he stepped up. Her plan didn't depend on him. He just offered. Her whole plan was, I'm getting a donor. That was her plan. Then he stepped up and
I
said,
but
I'll do it. And then her man stepped up and said, I'll do it. Her original plan didn't include either one of them.
I I think her plans kind of changed a bit
Oh,
to
they
me.
changed
But I
totally.
mean, you could
They changed
right.
totally, but I think she's just gonna go back to her original, just plan A. Plan A is still an option.
So Tika, so are you on board with what Daryl is? Sir Daryl is saying that Sabrina already has a backup plan already.
That's a trick question. She may have still have in her back pocket that she still wants this child, but I just feel like I really just feel like she's gonna take on Richard's problems versus going ahead and speeding up the process and getting another donor. And at the end of the day, y'all, he could have an abundance of little fellas floating around, and they calling him in for something totally different.
Yes, a Tyler Perry show. This is a Tyler Perry show. They might be calling
Uh,
him in to say, "Well, you have the most magnificent sperm we have ever tested. Are you interested in selling them? Are you interested in having your name added to the Lamb's Book of Life in our clinic? You know, this is it's things are never the
but
way we expect them to be on the Tyler Perry show.
I mean that's true. But I think I specifically remember him saying they said that there was a problem, so they wouldn't call that a problem, right?
No, he didn't.
Um,
He didn't
here.
say that they said it was a problem. He says they said that they wanted to talk to me, and so I'm guessing that there must be a problem.
Oh, oh, okay. Your Oval Angel says, you guys, Rich Rich is being manipulative, changing his mind. It appears he's known this since college. So it sounds like your Oval Angel is saying that maybe he already knew that he had issues with his sperm. And I think I touched on this before, Sir Daryl. Hence the reason why he's so set against on not being a father and not having kids because maybe he knows that he can't already,
That
and that would
actually
make sense.
that would make a
Yeah.
lot of sense. That would explain a lot. And then maybe in the back of his mind, he was just like, "Let me just try."
Right.
Okay,
That
you
would
Oval
actually
Angel,
explain
I
a lot.
see you.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That would explain a lot. That he doesn't want to tell. He doesn't want to. No man wants to tell a woman that he's broken, so to speak. I guess you would come off as kind of weak, not being able to reproduce. So it's easier to just say, I don't want to have kids. I never saw my life with that. So it's easier to say, I just don't want kids versus I'm kind of broken.
hmm
You know.
that actually would tie up so many questions. It would explain so many things from last season.
Hmm. Any other points from the show that you guys want to talk about? Anything else you noted?
I can't. My brain is not going to be able to get over these edits. So I can't go much further than that. That is beyond crazy to me.
All right,
Um,
so it looks like we're gonna get into. Well, go ahead, Tiki. You had something?
I was just gonna say I thought it was hilarious that Andy ended up doing kickboxing with the guy who was actually supposed to be her security. Now we find out who it was that was actually following her because in the back of my mind, I just knew somebody big and bad was about to take her down. But it comes to find out that Robin was the one that set up security for her. So
Yeah.
that really stuck out because I was wondering who was messing with her or who was following her.
I'm so sick of everybody falling at Andy's feet like she's like olive oil and everybody else is Popeye to come to save her. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of this.
You know, it
You
makes as
know,
much sense
she's so
as the olive oil situation because remember, olive oil was always somebody that it just didn't make sense in the storyline. Why are these dudes fighting over her? Like it just made no sense at all. And this is pretty much the same thing. I mean, the only thing Andy has going for her is the appearance of prestige because she works in a top law firm. She makes a lot of money, but the moment you get to know her, you cannot any longer ever be impressed. It's not possible.
hey, they continue to go forward.
They do.
Jordan was a fool for her, and Gary kind of using her, but at the same time, Gary kind of used her, but at the same time, he still genuinely likes
He likes her. He loves
Gary.
her.
Yeah, he likes her. He loves her, right?
Mhm.
You know, so she's got something. She's got something.
Yeah.
Y'all
Olive
got
oil had
anything
it
else
too.
about the episode?
Same thing olive oil had. That's what Andy got.
Oh man, guys, we getting ready to play a game called Picture It. You know, this is a segment. It doesn't have to make sense. A lot of it is sisters related. Some of it isn't. So, without further ado, we got Picture It. What we got first? All right, so boom, right here. This is the scene from All the Queen's Men. Sir Daryl, I know you haven't been keeping up with Tika. I know you've been keeping up because you always clocking what's going on. So this scene, we got
Right.
Babyface, his son. Well, we find out that this dancer, this mysterious dancer who came from nowhere, he was doing well. We really didn't know much about him. He started following Babyface. He took Babyface's underwear, which I didn't understand why, but come to find out, that is Babyface's son. Now, did the guy take Babyface's underwear to get some a DNA sample?
He
Tika?
did. He did. He definitely got his underwear out of his locker. And
What
why not? You know,
Okay, so
what was
he
the
couldn't
DNA
just
he
walk
got
up to
out of that?
Babyface and say, "Let me get your DNA." You know,
What was the DNA
hair.
that he
You
got out of the
know,
man's
uh
y'all.
underwear?
pubic hair
He probably had
probably,
hair
Mr. Darrell.
follicles in the underwear. Pubic hair.
All right.
Yeah. But
Are we sure
but Sir
Tyler
Darrell,
is
this
not
was
involved in the day-to-day writings and directings of this set?
No,
Ooh.
somebody else wrote this episode. Somebody else wrote this
Ooh.
episode.
All right.
your Oval Angel says she needs to catch up on all the Queen's men. You
Yeah, I
need
do
to
too.
catch up on this, your Oval Angel. This was really good. Even though the all the Queen's men is usually always pretty good, but man, these last few episodes has had some real good storylines. Some real good storylines. I'm vested. I'm into it. You know, I can't wait to see Babyface. He to me, he's like a grouch. I forget how old he is. He is an older person. He just doesn't look it. That's why they call him that. But he is a grouchy person. So I can't wait to see if this is true, how he starts to treat this young man. And maybe we're gonna get some backstory on Babyface. Who's the mother? What happened? When did this happen? You know, I don't know. What do you foresee, Tika?
Yeah, I think, and this is just my prediction. I think that because the episode was actually entitled Trick Daddy, and y'all know what a trick is. So I'm thinking that somebody who paid Babyface for some services ended up getting pregnant. And now 20 plus years later, because Babyface probably in his like 40s, early 40s or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
20 plus years later, twin. And so yeah, one of his tricks have come to roost. Some has happened to the mama, and now he's looking for his daddy.
That is so cool. I mean, it's not good. It's kind of sad, but I love this storyline. I can't wait to see what happened. You know, all the Queensmen. It's it's been so good. Everybody has a good storyline, this season, and it's always
Right.
good. But everybody has a good storyline. I would say one of the silly parts to me was Trouble. Trouble got suspended or fired or something like that. But she was out front, I don't know, selling drugs or something like what. I don't know. It was kind of stupid, knowing it's Madam's club. Why would you be out front selling whatever at that club? I don't know. I don't get that. That's all I got.
Yeah, trouble is literally about to be in trouble because how you not know that Madam has cameras all over the place and she's probably gonna see you out there selling Tina, which was one of the other names that she used. I got that such, I got that Tina. I'm like, girl, you really
Hmm.
trying to get taken back to the basement. Madam is not playing with you. She's already kicked you out of her club and now you want to do this because I understand you need money, but you put yourself in this situation by backdooring Madam and the Black Rock Boys. So yeah, and then she had to do something that is trouble is going down a long spiral. She's had to actually take somebody out, and now she's not really knowing how to handle it because that person was actually cool with her.
Mm.
Facts. Facts. Your Oval Angel says the writers are doing a great job capturing Christian Key's voice. I definitely thought he had started writing again. Hmm.
So he's not writing.
I apparently not. I guess I don't know.
Do you know, Tigger?
All right. What's
He in the very beginning, from the time, first of all, Tyler Perry took over all the Queen's Men, and they always put in the credits created by or based off the book Ladies Night by Christian Keys. And then at some point, something turned around to where now Christian Keys has creative control over the entire show, which is why they brought in, they have Christian Keys as an executive producer, Tyler Perry's an executive producer, and then they have a writer's room. So you got every episode, you may see a different writer credited for writing each episode. So yes, Christian is not writing on it per se. They got that writer's room situation. So
Right, but he has
it's
been
the
risen
voice
up.
of somebody else that's enhancing these characters.
But he's been risen up to the point of executive producer, which means he's about as high as you're going to get from getting um, on the scale of getting checks, getting them checks cut. He didn't start off as an executive producer, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
So Jeff, this answers our question. The question we have had for a long time. What happened? What made the man just shut up? What made everything just go away? How did it all work out? This is what happened. Now everything it has come to light. All right. The problem has been solved. Tika helped us to figure it all out. Thank you, ma'am.
all right, guys? We live in here. We are live
No
on
problem.
YouTube. So excited. So what we got next? Picture it. All right. So boom. I forgot what I was talking about. All right. So boom. So in this clip, who is okay? Who, who is Fatima's therapist, and since when does Fatima have a freaking therapist? Okay, I'm gonna get to why I have this picture here, because there's gonna be a follow up picture with Fatima calling Dr. Reed, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But does Fatima have a therapist? That's my question.
I don't know if we're having one.
No, she thinks
Okay,
she
so
doesn't need in her
be, because I mean she has all these connections, because she set up her name is Krita, right? Krita with Danny, right? And then she also set up Dr. Reed with Jack.
I
She's
don't
the
Yeah,
know.
but she
she's
set
the
up
person who
Dr.
set
Reed
these
through
up, right?
Paul.
Okay. I think I remember
If
that.
you remember Paul,
I think I
I used to
remember that.
call him the lumberjack, the dude that was trying to get with her while she was going back and forth with
I
Zach.
rem-
He was the one that
mhm.
introduced her to Dr. Reed. As far as Krisha, I just think she was somebody in the Rolodex that that Fatima knew.
Interesting. All right, yeah, it was just in the back of my head. I think I saw a YouTuber mention this. And they were like, well, they was I forgot what the argument was about, but he was saying that Dr. Reed was never Fatima's therapist, and I guess some people in his group were like basically saying that Dr. Reed used to be her therapist, and he was just clearing it up that he never was her therapist, which I think that's true. But that's all I got for that. Picture it, boom. So this is the iconic scene I was talking about, baby. All right, now, me and Sir Daryl was going back and forth about this. Uh, Sir Daryl, did you agree with me?
I begrudgingly
When
agreed with you. Yes.
you did agree with me. So a lot of people on TikTok, I had a poll and I asked, was Fatima justified in calling Dr. Reed and setting up a late night appointment? I get off late. You can come by the house when I get off. And some people were still backing up Fatima, like, yes, yes, she's justified. And so I want to know what's your views on this,
But
Tika?
before we,
What's your views?
really quick before Tika responds, I do want to put in the context for people who are watching this. This happened on Zatima, so it's kind of a slightly different storyline. So just I'm not that I'm trying to go into all of that, but for those of you who don't watch Zatima, if you didn't miss the scene, it was in a different show. All right, go ahead though.
Oh, so
She
go ahead.
I was just gonna say she absolutely should not have called allowed him to come to the house for this whole meeting that she and Dr. Reed were about to have. She should went to his office because, as we already know, we got nosy Deja next door looking to create drama. Why bring? I understand that the intentions were pure, and he's been to the home before at that time of night, but Zach was there at the time, and I know that this is strictly purely innocent between Fatima as well as Dr. Reed, but they should have been at his office or somewhere else, not at the house,
So
in my opinion.
so you feel like it was purely innocent? It may be, but why,
Maybe
why, why, why Dr. Reed and not Cretia? Why choose Dr. Reed and not Cretia?
because that's Zach's
No, no,
therapist.
no, no. Oh, wait, I'm asking Tika first. Why ask Cretia? Why ask Dr. Reed and not Cretia?
And I think I know where Daryl was on his way to. Because that's Zach's therapist. So why not talk to the person that you're concerned about with their therapist? That's his therapist. And Krisha is not in the Zatima world right now. She's way over there in sisterhood land, or she's way over there. You know what I mean? So call Zach's therapist.
Yeah, what's she gonna do? I mean, yeah, that's she doesn't know anything about Zach.
Okay, okay. I'll bow out gracefully on that. I'm still firm on this scene. For people who don't know, let me play out the scene. Fatima is called. Keep in mind now, Zach is in jail. Okay, Fatima went to work, had a nice meal, worked out, did all of this stuff. She's calling a therapist after hours. He says 7 o'clock. She says, "Oh well, I get off kind of late. You think you can come by after I get off? No problem. Let me know when you get off." We gonna meet up at the house. You can't tell me that's inappropriate. You can't tell me that's not inappropriate. You guys got to see that's wrong.
Well, I don't think I think we both agreeing with you there, but
Yeah, we
No,
agree.
we're agreeing with you there. It's just that who else she going? If she's going to call a therapist, he's the only one to call in this scenario.
you do know. Aside from my antics, you do know that was my whole argument about him coming to that house. So let's not play. You do. That was my whole argument. He should not be coming to that freaking house. He shouldn't be coming to that house.
You feel very strongly about this,
I,
don't
I'm 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 numb. I need to feel something. I don't
you?
know. She did say that, right? Am I wrong?
I don't
Did
know.
she did say that, right?
I don't remember her saying
I'm
that. I remember
numb.
you
I need
saying it.
to.
So Jeff, are you thinking that Dr. Reed has a little something something for Fatima? Do you think he's trying to, weasel his way into her life in a relationship, or like what why I mean, what's the deal?
Why not? Wait a minute. We Fatima's track record. You do know when she gets into it with Zach, what she just did. She runs to somebody else, right or wrong. When she got into it with Zach last time, she needed some of that tension. She needed to talk to a guy. It's never a girl, and I'm being honest. She went to Paul, treating Paul like he's Dr. Phil. Am I wrong? She had her best friend Angela she could have talked to. She had Andy she could have talked to. Angela, I remember Angela said, "Girl, I'll go running with you." No, no, no. I just want to clear my head. Next few minutes, she got on the phone with Paul. Paul said, "I don't run. Oh, I maybe I ride in a car with you or something like that." She didn't care. She wanted the attention in the company of a man, which hey, you like what you like, but let's not BS. Let's cut the foolishness. Fatima likes that sexual. She likes that sexual tension. That ooh, I know you want me, but you can't get none of this. I'm taking. Listen, I get it. Everybody likes to feel like they hot stuff. Everybody want to feel like they hot stuff. What was your oval angel saying? I know she let me have it. First thing your oval angel says. I also think they're trying to put too much of Crystal's real life and Fatima's character. Your Oval Angel says, I can agree with Tika's point. Uh, she says, Krisha has never been on Zatima. Y'all know Tyler Perry isn't about to use a different therapist. um, your Oval Angel says, you are going to owe Fatima a huge apology. This
Excuse me, a
scenario
huge
you
ass
have,
apology.
what?
A
He
huge
didn't say
ass
that.
apology.
Okay, you are going to owe Fatima a. Oh, okay, I didn't see that part. You're going to owe a huge ass apology. This scenario you have envisioned is terrible, Jeff. Wait a minute. I didn't envision that actually happened. Yeah, Overlanger, that did happen. So it's not like I made that part up. When she got on the phone and called Dr. Reed and said, "I'm numb. I need to feel something." I get off I'm working late. I'll call you when I get off. She said that. I didn't make that up. Okay. And she's wrong. She's wrong for that. Her husband to be is in jail. She shouldn't have nobody at that freaking house. She needs to be at the freaking uh uh jail cell or wherever he's at. She needs to be by Zach's side. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for that, y'all?
She should be there. You're correct.
Tika?
She should be there, but listen, she told him not to get
Uh-uh.
rowdy about it, and he put himself in that position. So she was trying to prove a point to him that when she walked out of that office, or out of that whatever they call that visitors room, She let him know, look, I'm not dealing with you in this. I got a baby to worry about. I'm not coming. I'm not putting money on your books. I'm not doing that. We're not having this jailhouse relationship because this is what you chose. Even after I told you that this is not going to be good for us. And I just don't think that her intentions were ill. Yeah, she may have once went into trying to make herself feel good by dealing with Paul back then. But when it came to the therapist, I think it was solely on what should I do? What should I do to, this is about Zach. This is not about me. Yeah, I'm feeling numb, but what should I do to help him? Am I wrong for wanting him to stay in there for a long period of time so he can get his act together? Like, what should I do? So I think it was a strictly on an innocent, and I mean, I have my moments with Fatima, but I really think this one was on she had pure intentions for this one.
Oh, okay. So the pure intentions. So this couldn't have been a phone call. According to you, yeah, we need to be in person for this one because I'm numb. You got to be at this house. According to you, Tika. According to you, you got to be at
No,
this
I never
house.
said at the
I'm
house.
a,
I never said at the house though. I'm against the house.
but
I
that
think
but
she could have went to
that's
the house.
my
No, no, she could call him, but they needed to be at his office versus at the house. Because, like I said, you got nosy Deja looking out, trying to see what's going on. You got, anything else could have popped off. I agree with her having that, but not at the house. Not at the house. That's all.
your overland angel says, I guess you're talking about me. Your mind is working overtime, thinking she's up to something sinister. LOL. She is standing on business. She already told him she was what she was going to do. Duvall was on Twitter and said Zach only did it because he didn't believe she was serious. You know, when I hear actors tell their spin on a character, I mean, it's not like unless they're the ones writing their own scenes, it's just like me and you who's watching it. They can only go by what we see. So it's not like he writes the character. He just acts it out. But yeah. See, I forgot what I was gonna say. Probably some more BS. Y'all got anything else for the segment?
Yeah, you got more for this segment. You ready to switch to the next one?
What? No, I was gonna say something else. About oh, so Tika, you okay? You made a comment about Fatima being over it. She already told Zach she's not gonna put nothing on his books. He's not gonna be there. So what I say to that is, so that means, are you saying that Fatima's over Zach and that this is gonna be it?
No, I don't. I definitely don't think she's over Zach. I know she loves Zach 100%. She just had to prove a point to him. He's taken her for granted. He took her words for granted that she was gonna be ride or die. Yes, she's ride or die. However, I just told you not to go in and rip this. Don't do anything to your brother, and you didn't listen. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to prove a point. I'm gonna give you some tough love so that later on, if you decide before you make a crazy decision, you gonna think twice as to whether or not you want me in your life. And so she still loves Zach, and she's going to definitely still be with him. But at this moment, she just had to prove a point to him. So maybe he'll think twice, three times before he does something crazy like what he just did with his brother.
And maybe prove a point to herself too
My
that she can at least on some level do what she said she was going to do. And I mean, even though we all know that she's not leaving him, but everything about that situation was, I kept telling you don't do this. I kept telling you don't do this. And then you did something that changed now the way I'm supposed to act. Now, because of what you did, I'm now supposed to not go to work. I'm supposed to go to find you a lawyer. I'm supposed to stay up at the jail to figure out what's going on with you. Now my life has to be disrupted
Yes,
because you couldn't keep it under control.
yes. Yes, because you know why, Sir Daryl? You know why? Because she picked them. She freaking picked them. She picked somebody who was messy, got somebody else pregnant, and you didn't give a darn, and you chose to have another baby with them. So you listen, yeah, you picked them, and you picked all the crap that comes with it. You know,
How
she
long do
she
you?
she,
How long
she
do
paid for
you?
all of that.
How long do you keep that in your mind? If you pick somebody, at what point do you say, okay, I realized I picked this situation, I caused this situation, I'm the reason I'm in this situation. Now I gotta just take myself out of it. At what point do you do that? You got to give
You
somebody grace enough to be able to
you
grow.
You you don't get no, you don't get to complain about it. And my thing is, baby, if you over it, then you gonna get out that house then. Right, you gonna get out that
He's
freaking
still in the
house.
house. He
Right?
wanted her out of the house. Like he wanted her to like not even go back there. And in Jeff's mind,
No,
she was supposed to
no.
leave that night.
If no. We already said that she's not gonna leave him. But if she decides that listen, I'm over this, we're not gonna be together, then that means you leaving that house then, right?
Yeah, so at some point you're leaving the house. Yes.
You turning in those keys to that car.
Now that's a. Where do you stand on
No,
this, Tigger?
that was a gift. We ain't giving no,
That's
we
what
not
I
giving
told
no
Jeff.
cars back now. That was a gift. That
So
was a
Jeff and
gift.
I
Hey, in
on
the state of Georgia, that's a gift, baby. Keep gifts. No, sir. We not giving her back the card now. She got her own house or her townhouse she can go to. I'm sorry, Daryl, but no, we not
yeah. No, I agree with you. In
giving the
fact, Jeff
cars
and I
back.
got into a big
Not in
argument about
2025.
that. I was and Jeff said, "Well, what about like somebody in an engagement ring?" And I was saying that if a woman decides she wants to give the man back his engagement ring if they're not going to be anymore, great. I don't know what he's going to really do with it, but she's not obligated to give them that ring back. Gifts exchanged between people, you're not obligated to give it back anymore just because you're not together. In fact, what I told Jeff was sometimes that concept that you're supposed to give things back is what keep people bickering back and forth with one another because they're holding on to something or having a reason to go back over there in order to give it back. That thing just becomes the tool that they use to keep drama going. So sometimes it's easier to just give it away, or sometimes it's easier to just forget about it. But this notion, who made these stupid ass rules anyway that everybody feels that they're supposed to follow? This notion that we're not together anymore, so now I gotta find all the gifts that you gave me and give them back. That alone is keeping the drama going.
No. If you truly if you got somebody that's messy
Definitely.
and want back, if somebody is messy and they want back a freaking a purse or something that you bought them, which is stupid, and you want no ties to them, give that crap back, take it, done. I
Jeff,
will see you around. Yeah,
if they're
No,
truly
listen,
messy,
I'm telling you my perspective. I'm telling you my perspective. I'm telling you
I
my
don't
freaking perspective.
I don't even
I'm
disagree.
saying I'm but you didn't even let me freaking finish. I'm
Go ahead,
just
I apologize.
I was done, but what I'm saying is, in the messiness, somebody says, "Oh, you can't get rid of me. I got you this, I got you that. Even though it's mine, I'm gonna say, you know what? To shut you up, there you go. We are done. See you. That's that.
No, it's not that.
That's
The problem
that.
that don't shut the messy person up. That don't shut the messy person up. That for the messy person, that's like, okay, great. I got him. Now he got to come over here, or he's got to send it over here in some kind of way. Now there's going to be another opportunity for me to cause more drama and for me to be more messy and for me to yell at them. And when they get it back, it doesn't end anything because they don't really want it back. They just wanted to be able to have something to argue about, and they wanted to have something to fight about. So when you're dealing with the messy person, giving them their stuff back, it ain't never the end. Now they want to come over and look around and see if they can find something else. And if they can't, they will tell you that they got something at your house just so that they can come back over and look in because they don't really care about the stuff. They care about the drama. They care about the arguing. They care about the bickering, and they want to keep that energy going. Giving them their stuff back ain't going to change that at all.
So Jeff, are you saying because she chose this dysfunctional relationship, and I called them the most dysfunctional couple in the world, but because she chose this relationship, she has she has to she is basically she's forced to, or it's okay for her to go through all the good and the bad with Zach. Is that your point?
You got it. Okay. It's two things to this. She got to take the good with the freaking bad because she picked them. She fought so bad to have them. Secondly, when Fatima gives advice about being calm and you can't do this, you do know that's the pot calling the kettle freaking black, right? The only reason her behind ain't in jail too because she's a woman, and you know that's true. She laid hands on freaking Deja, but it got written off as, oh, it's just a cat fight. Right or wrong. She went in there and tore up Deja's house, but don't nobody talk about that. Don't nobody want to talk about that. But if she had man freaking hands and bust on the chops, she would have went to jail too. Am I wrong?
Maybe.
What you mean maybe? You listen. I'm not gonna
I
argue
still
with you
don't know
because
why she
you
got locked up, but
okay, but you know what? Some girl fights are sometimes held to a different, you know, standards. And she is a woman. Her behind is not in jail, and I think it's funny her giving advice on being calm. And I told you you can't do this and do that, and she's the same exact same way. She is the same freaking way. I can't believe y'all don't see this.
We
She's the
see
same
it.
freaking way.
I remember.
Okay,
oh
so what?
yeah,
So
she's definitely there. They're twins for sure. Like they're
okay, so why is it when she giving out advice, being mama bear, y'all just feeding into it? Oh yeah, she did tell him this. She did tell him. I don't want to hear none of that. Not coming from your behind. No,
because
no,
because you
no.
you you say all of that, but you ask questions like, does she have to do this? Or you say things that imply that because she made bad choices before, she now has to continue to make bad choices going forward.
Wait. Not past tense, baby. She's still making bad choices. She's still making bad choices. Not past tense. She's still making them. Let's. I
I
got some
remember
comments.
really quickly. I remember when going way back. I'm not even sure which show it was on, Zatima or Sisters, but Zach was saying, asking Fatima, "How come you can do this?" And she says, "Because I have a record and you don't." And I remember Zach looking puzzled, and he said, "I don't know how." And he basically said the same thing you all are saying, like, "I don't know how in the hell you don't have a criminal record with the stuff that you do." It's very funny.
yeah.
um, oh, your Oval Angel says Mariah Carey's ex fiance wasted her time typing too fast. I waited too long to mention this comment, so that's why it seems like out of our context. Your Oval Angel says, I actually think Fatima doesn't have a record because her dad is a judge. That makes sense. She knows people to
I
keep her out
forgot
of
we saw
jail.
Fatima's parents. I completely forgot about that.
Your Oval Angel says, I need you to pay attention to the dialogue. When the cops arrested Zach, they told Deja that was a civil matter. Take her to court and sue for damages. Okay.
Yeah, because
They
they were in
did.
that sense they were talking about things. She didn't. Did she actually hit? She didn't hit Deja in that instance, did she?
No, I'm talking prior.
No,
She
not in
No,
clocked
no,
that.
no.
her.
I know she did hit her
When
before, but I'm saying in that instance, yeah. So that is true. The cops would not be able to. Yeah, the cops wouldn't be able to do anything, especially afterwards. Like basically saying yesterday she threw my stuff. Yeah, you got to take her to court.
yeah,
But
yeah,
she could
yeah.
have got it
That's
for like
all.
vandalism. Like you went off in my crib and tore up my that's vandalism. Like that ain't just civil, that's criminal. So the cops just I don't know. Anyway.
One because it's a girl. Two girls like had one of them been a guy. Oh, you best believe that guy would have been thrown in jail. Best believe he would have been thrown in jail. Hey, picture it. Oh, we already did that one. Boom. We already touched on this. The only reason I showed this one, uh, Zach and Fatima, are they drifting apart? Um, we kind of already touched on it. Obviously, we know that they're not going to separate. The only reason, the only reason this was kind of interesting because I felt that when Fatima gets frustrated and argues with Zach, she finds the company of another guy. That's what I've seen her do in the past. Maybe she doesn't do that anymore. But Dr. Reed happens to be a guy. I know Tika feels that it's just innocent. I don't think it's innocent. I think that there's that sexual tension, even though she's not gonna do nothing. She likes that sexual tension to be there, that cat and mouse. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Cat and mouse. You can't get this. I know you want this, but you can't get it. That's what I think. That's it. Boom, picture it.
What?
Jackée Harry as Fatima, 80s bombshell Jackée Harry recast as Fatima. What y'all think about this? I'm gonna start with
Man,
you,
I
Tika. First
am
thing that comes to mind. I'm starting with
canceling.
Tika Deshawn, baby. could
More like
Jackée Harry
Fatima's
pull?
More like Fatima's jazzy auntie. No, we know her and Fatima had two different type of energies. Jackay, also known as what was her name? What was her name in 227?
Sandra Clark.
She
Sandra
was
Clark.
more her feminine. Sandra, yes, Sandra Clark was more in tune with her feminine side and that physical aggression that Fatima has. Sandra would never do that. She would steer away, even though she would talk her talk, but she would kind of steer away from anything aggressive. So not even back then would she even be able to be Fatima in 2025. No, we good.
What
Love you,
what
Jackie,
what
but no ma'am.
what about a day? What about a Deja?
I could see her as a Deja. The
Yeah, that's
whole
more up her alley.
flirtations, the whole yeah, I could see her as a Deja for sure.
Yeah, she definitely will sleep with your
Sir
man.
Daryl.
She's definitely gonna sleep with your
Sir
man.
Daryl.
She's gonna anything sexual. She was right there. She was ready for it. She was ahead of her time. She was probably the most sexual being on NBC back in the day. We never
I
actually
think
saw her do anything, but it was implied constantly.
I think Jackie Harry could have pulled this off. She has that look. You've been wearing the freaking same freaking outfits, same outfits. She got the '80s hair. I think she could have pulled it off. That's what I think. The character would have been quite different though. Hmm. uh, your Oval Angel says, I don't think, I don't think they are going to separate, but I feel like Fatima put up double, what? Plated vibranium walls when he doubled back with Karen. She looks even more distant in some of the previews. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. They're not going to separate. They just doing that for the show. Your
Yeah.
Oval Angel says absolutely not. JK is better off being an aunt. Listen, your Oval Angel, I'm talking about 80s bombshell, Jackie Harry, not Jackie Harry in 2024. Back in the 80s, baby. This is just a fun little clip, though. I think she
Jack
can
A,
pull it off,
Jack A
though.
has aged well, though. I will say that.
Mm.
You don't think so?
Have we even seen her in a
No,
role where she could show some aggression or like she's ready to square up with someone? I don't think we've ever seen that side of her. So that's what I'm basing mine off of. I just always see her as that lioness, that feminine, that walk, that Sandra, like that whole situation.
Mhm.
That's who I'll forever see her as, that type of character.
Yeah.
I mean, she used to go off sometime, but only on Mary, nobody else.
Yeah.
Like she would get slick sometime, but that was it. It
Right.
was that was it. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Was that the last one, Shadaro? Boom, picture it. I love this one. So we got Madam. Madam needs a new head of security. Who would be the best fit to fill in for Blue? Who would be the best head of
Wait
security?
a second. I'm
Do you
so
guys
sorry.
recognize?
Are we
Uh,
saying, since I'm not caught up, are we saying that she does actually need a new head of security, or are you saying if she were to need a new head of security?
if she, these are my scenarios that make no sense. They don't
No,
mean
no, no. But
nothing.
right, but it is
Just like,
possible. It is possible that I missed something in the storyline where she does need a new head of security, and I wasn't sure where you were going with that. If I just missed it.
well, when I watched the last episode of All the Queen's Men, Blue has been slipping lately, even though Blue ain't going nowhere. But Blue has she had an issue where if Tika, if I'm not mistaken, like something blew up in the club and it triggered something in Blue because Blue used to be in the military or something like that. So now she's triggered
Right.
and now she has to do therapy and she's been kind of slacking on the job. She's been missing in action even though
Yeah.
Madam kind of takes it light on her because like they kind of cool like that.
Mm.
But shit, in real life, Blue, her behind would get replaced. So if Madam was to replace Blue, who would be the best fit? And you guys recognize everybody, or you need some help?
Yeah, I recognize. No,
Without
I
a
don't.
doubt, Tommy, because Matlock ain't gonna do nothing but try the case. Uh, um, Chief from Mississippi, what's his? Oh God, I forgot his name. Heat of the Night Chief. He ain't gonna get one black
Sheriff
woman
Connolly,
and
Sheriff
be cool
Connolly.
with it. And this is not. and, and I forgot. I just watched Dexter. The dude in the middle, he got some secrets. So I think Tommy would be the best fit, especially for the aggression that I'm talking about aggression all night long. But for what Madam needs, it would definitely be Tommy's. Somebody said in the comments because he'll be canceling Christmas all over the place. That's what she needs. I
I
guarantee
mean,
he
he
would
be
have been able to
canceling Chris.
stop concierge from getting that poison into the men's locker room. I guarantee he would have been able to stop that.
So nobody gonna go with Sheriff from in Heat of the Night, Sheriff Connolly. I,
I'm definitely not going with him.
um, I'm okay. I know my pick, but I'll let you go first, Daryl. Who
I
do you
don't
think?
watch Power, so I can't even comment on that one. The only one I can even comment on out of the other three that's left is and what is his name from Dexter? What is the guy's name?
Lieutenant Dokes, Lieutenant
Dokes.
Dokes, baby.
Yes, yes, Dokes is who I'm going with.
Morgan, Morgan.
Secrets or not, that is a bulldog.
He
I mean,
be
like
all
he took his job more seriously than anybody I've ever seen. In fact, I'll say this, and I know this has nothing to do with this, but I really thought that some sort of way he was going to show up in the last season. I thought he wasn't actually going to be dead since he was one of the few people that we never like. They didn't get his body, or everything was just exploded. So I just thought that we were going to figure out some sort of way that he had somehow escaped and was going to come back in the last season. So I was very upset when that didn't happen. But I'm going with Dokes.
Excuse me. I wanted to go with Dokes. Believe me, I wanted to go with Dokes, but I remember how he got defeated on the show, which was so unfreaking believable.
Mm-hmm.
I love me some Dexter, but in reality, from what if I recall, I'm a bit fuzzy on it. Dokes finally nailed Dexter, had him, finally caught Dexter at gunpoint. Some kind of way, Dokes got nervous and started backing away. He got Dexter in handcuffs, and some kind of way, Dokes is backing up. Dexter head busts him. They go in the water. I'm like, this is so freaking lame. Ain't no way in the world hand to hand combat, Dokes was supposed to lose to Dexter, but That's what happened. So that's why I can't vote for Dokes because he lost to Dexter, even though Dexter is he was trained back then. I forgot all of the martial arts stuff that he trained in, but I can't go with Dokes only because of that reason. He lost to Dexter. So I would go with Tommy Egan also. I should have put some more people up here, but I would go with Tommy. He would actually get it done. Because like you said, Tika Matlock, he would be more administrative. He not gonna get down with the get down. Matlock can't handle
Right.
2025 crime. He you know, he can't handle two brothers going at it with wine bottles, cracking each other.
That part.
Oh man. Sheriff Connolly. I don't know why I don't even know why I put him up here. My mom watched that show, but I think he would have a heart attack being working with Madam. She would get slick with him. You better get your behind in there. He probably go just he not used to black people talking to him any kind of way. He wasn't racist. He wasn't racist, but he was in a racist era. He had a lot of people on his staff
Yeah.
that was racist, if I'm not mistaken, and he turned a blind eye to it, like most of them did back in the day. So he would not fare well working for Madam because she gonna get slick with him, and he probably gonna be like, "What?" He probably gonna get killed. Um,
I hadn't even considered that part about they also have to be able to work and get along with Madam. I mean, uh, that right there is alone is going to be the task to get over. I mean, I think Dokes actually would be
uh,
able to get along with Madam.
I think so too. The
She and
only
Tommy are
the only reason I
literally
didn't.
one and the same.
You think so?
Two devils.
Um, yeah, but that's all I got. Your Oval Angel says you probably should have added Uncle Marvin, Diamond, or Kane to the list. Give Tommy some competition. Well, your Oval Angel, I thought Tommy's competition was Lieutenant Dokes because your Oval Angel. I don't know if you've ever seen Dexter, but Dokes, he ain't no joke. Lieutenant Dokes. He.
Lieutenant Dokes was
Lieutenant
the
Dokes.
only
I don't think.
person to really see Dexter. Now, what does that say about him, though?
Yeah.
What does it say about him that he's able to recognize? Remember, who could recognize Dexter? Other serial killers, other murderers, and animals. Nobody else could see Dexter for who he was. Doak saw him from who he was from the beginning. That means that there's something about him. I mean, you might say, "Oh, yes, he's a master detective," or he's an animal himself. That's able to sense what most people cannot sense.
Yeah, so that means he got a little
Right.
grit. He got a little grit under his nails.
Hmm.
So, he would be a good fit to work for Madam. I think so. That would be good to see how he fares. But putting him up against Tommy. So Tommy, so we're gonna narrow it down to Tommy Egan and Lieutenant Dokes, pound for pound, head for who's the best? Tommy, Lieutenant Dokes, and why? I'm gonna start with you, Tika.
I'll say Tommy. We've seen his work. We've seen his handiwork. He's not going to argue for long. He's going to solve the problem. He's going to solve it before he realizes that it actually needs to be solved. That's just what Tommy does. Tommy Egan, he's like I said, he and Madam are literally one and the same because Madam has no problem with taking people out, and neither does Tommy. And he's also very good with reading the room. He's his thought process, his being able to walk into an area and pay attention and just see everything, even from the spot that he's standing in. That's what Madam needs. She needs somebody that can see pretty much everything. So that's why I say Tommy.
Yeah, I can't vote. I can't vote because I
Uh,
don't know Tommy.
I mean, I'm gonna agree with Tika because Sir Daryl, Tommy Egan, back the first season of the original Ghost, uh he was able to blend in. He was able to dress in as a character. He is a white guy, but he's a rough white guy. But he was also able to dress up and look like a clean cut Caucasian man and blend in with other people, which I saw. Lieutenant Dokes can't do that. Well, we never seen it. We've never seen Lieutenant Dokes go undercover, and if he did, he's a big burly guy, so he's still gonna stick out. So he can't blend in like Tommy could blend in, and I just thought about that. Yeah. Uh, and I'm guessing he would beat Lieutenant Dokes in a fight too, only because Tommy. Uh, huh. Tommy uses just weapons. He doesn't physically fight, does he, Tika?
He's had a few physical altercations, but once he gets them down, then he's pulling for that piece, and that's it.
Okay, so if we're talking hand to hand combat, Dokes and Tommy, who would win if without weapons?
Hand to hand, I think Dokes, because Dokes is he. First of all, he got this muscle situation going on, and only thing on the real unalignment we've seen with Tommy with using the hands was when he took old girl out with his hands. Like that was kind of pretty much it. Everything else has been the physical altercation, but then he ends up either cutting them up or popping them.
Mm.
All right.
So those
Ugh.
hand to hand comeback, but that's about it.
Your Uncle Angel says Ghost and Tommy couldn't even beat each other up. Ghost and Tommy couldn't even beat each other.
Right.
What you mean, your Uncle Angel?
Yeah.
What you meant by that?
There was no man still standing. They had a physical. The two of them were fighting, fist fighting, and they just basically got tired of fighting. It wasn't a. It was no. They
Oh,
couldn't. They
yeah, that's
couldn't.
right.
Neither one of them could end the fight. Like that whole Rocky versus Oh God, what's the other one? Darn it. Creed.
Apollo
Yeah,
Creed.
Creed. Like how like Apollo Creed, like when they fought and fought and fought, and they neither one of them won the match because they couldn't beat each other at that time. So it's like that. That's the type of hand
Okay.
to hand comeback. Ghost and Tommy. That's what that person is referring to.
Okay. I got it. I got it. I got it. Was that our last picture it, Sir Daryl?
Yeah, that was it.
All right, I went light on us. They fought in Tommy's house. That's what your old angel says. Man, guys, I had a blast with y'all. I'm not gonna keep y'all because I know y'all got things to do.
Well, can I keep
Y'all
us
got
for just
anything
one
else?
more minute?
Yeah.
So I don't have the clip, and I will try if you all want to discuss this. I'll try to get it together the next time that we talk. But are either of you familiar with the interview, and I believe it was a podcast that Tyler Perry did recently, where he spoke about the writers' room, his disappointment with the writers, and the ratings. So I again, I saw it. Well, I only saw the isolated clip where he talked about that. Are you familiar with this? Tika said yes. Jeff, are you familiar with this? So, Tika,
No.
have you actually seen it?
I only saw that portion of that clip that he was having that conversation, and I was just like, I think you're wrong, Tyler Perry. I think you're
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
That was my thought when I initially heard him even mention that he was disappointed. And yeah, yeah.
And he even said, Jeff, he even said that he can't even, well, he didn't mention sisters by name from the part that I saw. But what he was saying was, you take these characters that he has um, 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 taken all of this time to develop, and you turn them over to these writers. And he says you would think that the writers would just go back through all of the seasons and just find and just see what I was trying to do and where I was trying to take it. And apparently they, from his standpoint, apparently they didn't do that. And then they start coming in and watching a little bit, and then they start taking these characters in directions that he never fathomed, and the audience is sick of it, and he's not even able to watch it. He says, I can't even watch it because he's so disappointed. But when the ratings actually take a dip, that's when he has to go back in and step in and start taking an actual hand, where he goes into the writer's room in order to give them direction, to show them the areas that he wanted it to go in. And it was an interesting thing to me, because from my vantage point, for him to start making these things public means that there's a whole lot that's brewing underneath it. And I guess I might be in the minority, but I have enjoyed Sisters so much more over the last couple of seasons as the writers get their bearings. I've definitely enjoyed Bruh. I've enjoyed pretty much all of the shows when they have some variation in writers. And from my vantage point, things might take a dip for a minute, but who knows how much further it'll go as these writers get their bearing. But of course, I don't have the clip to play in order to comment on it for us to really have a real discussion. But I was just wondering again if you guys had seen it, and if so, what your thought was.
But also, Daryl, like, what did he expect? Yes, this is your vision. However, you place it in the hands of others to, it's their mind. Like, your mind is not there. They don't think the way that you're thinking, even though they are trying to write the way that you would write. However, clearly there's some adjustments to your writing that needed to be had. I'll say that with Ruthless, just being specific about Ruthless, I think they did an amazing job with the writing. Only one thing that I would have done different in regards to Ruthless, and maybe I'm just straight biased, but I wouldn't have taken Daikon off of his throne as fast as they did, because it was literally 2 episodes into the new season, and then Daikon was dethroned. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I wouldn't have done. I would not have done. But for the most part, people are literally engaged and they're watching. So I don't know where all of his shows are becoming more engaging. And yeah, Sisters, they aggravate me, but I still watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know where
There's a lot more
I'd like to
happening
see
on
what
Sisters.
something different with.
Yeah, there's a lot more happening on Sisters. There's just variations of things happening, and there's just so much. I mean, I'm biased from the standpoint of this, because Tyler Perry is a genius. He's built this empire, but one man writing all of these shows, I wouldn't expect there to be not to be a whole lot of repetitive things going on and over and over and over, which used to drive me crazy, and that's the whole reason. And I remember, I think it was you, Tika, who got me in line one day when I was talking about the new writers, and I believe I was saying, but these same people, when Tyler Perry was writing, and I made this comparison, I think it was you who put me in line and said, "Yeah, but there's a whole room now, a whole group of writers, so we should expect even less mistakes." Which makes me more pissed off about this last episode that we just saw. But I guess that's editing and directing, or not directing, but
editing. That's editing right there. That's editing, and they need to be on the timeout for that, for showing the messing that up. Yeah, that was editing. But now I
but
forgot what I was going to say.
I've
But
enjoyed it a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. It takes out all of that filler, all of those filler words, and are you sure? And please, like all those filler words that they would normally put in the dialogue, that Tyler Perry would put in the dialogue, it has been removed because these writers are actually adding a few more words to the scripts versus the 3 words and then a filler word, So
I truly believe that on the Oval, "Are you sure?" and "Yes, ma'am," I think Tyler just had a key that just said, "Are you sure?" and one that said, "Yes, ma'am." No, ma'am. Like I don't think he actually had to type those. I think it's just like just press that one button, because it was just whole scenes of that. It does all of the shows now have a writer? Does the Oval have a writer's room too?
Yep.
And did the last season of it, or are we coming up on the
because
first season?
I believe this last season, this cup season that's coming up tomorrow. I think, or no, I'm sorry, Wednesday. I think that one had a writer room as well. I think because of the pandemic, um, there was that. Not only was there the pandemic, but then there was the strike.
Hmm.
So when the strike hit, they had to hurry up and pump all this content out, and that's where the writers room actually came into place. So I think all of his shows, and plus in the midst of all of the strikes and everything that was going on, those shows got renewed. So it's like, okay, let's hurry up and write as much as we can.
Hmm.
And then when we get things back on track, then we can kind of go back to our norm.
Hmm.
But yeah, Tyler, I understand you have high expectations, and a lot of these writers are new. Like they've had maybe one or two small projects, and they almost like plucking somebody out of college and putting them in this whole writing program to learn to write the certain style of a certain creator.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they've done pretty good, just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I have appreciated them. I definitely have appreciated one season not being, 5 days. I definitely appreciate that because at the rate that it was going, um, Karen's baby, was saying that Karen's baby was going to be born on the last episode of the last season. Like that was when the baby was going to be born. All right, that's all.
I had a few comments down here. I'm not gonna read all these. Your Oval Angel says the Bruh writers did a great job elevating the story.
Oh
I
yes.
feel like they should have been given sisters because they actually learned the characters. The Oval Angel says those sisters ratings have tanked tremendously. They usually stay between 800K and 1 million. After the mid-season finale of the seventh season, they've held steady between 500 and 800K. Only one episode this season has hit 800,000. The writers definitely improved the dialogue. I was definitely sick of "Are you sure?"
Yeah. Yeah. Are you sure? Just drove me crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. You know what I was gonna say? With the big dip in the Tyler Perry shows and all that fun stuff. Do you think had it not been so public and made public that there were new writers, a shakeup, if the transition happened without anybody knowing about it and they still thought it was just Tyler, do you think anybody would be making such comments or would anything have changed? Like if no one knew that there were new writers, do you think people would be complaining? Would they notice?
I think they will say Tyler Perry. I think they will say that the writing sucked because of Tyler Perry, because so many people just love to have disdain towards Tyler Perry. He can write such an amazing projects, and then somebody's gonna find something bad about it. So they
Right.
rarely give him a compliment.
So that proves my point. It would have just been the same old, the same old trolls complaining about the writing, but they still come back to view it. It would have
Right.
been the same old. But now in this instance, we got it publicly announced that there's new writers. So now there's people who are already complaining about Tyler Perry's writing. Now they're like, oh, we got some new people. We got some new. That's a turnoff because a lot of people only come to watch the show because it's attached to the Tyler Perry franchise. Even if it's not your genre, you just want to come check it out because it's attached to Tyler Perry. His name draws attention. His name draws attention. So I feel like
Yep.
had they not made that so public, we wouldn't have seen a dip like that. It would have just been the same old, same old. People who complain like always, but now they made it public. So I don't know. Your Oval Angel says, I don't think anything would have changed at all. So your Oval Angel agrees with me. Nothing would have changed if they didn't make it public. What about what you think, Sir Darrell?
Yeah, I don't know. You have people like me who used to just go crazy over Tyler's writing in one way, and I also I've seen with my own eyes people compare Tyler Perry's writing to that of Steven Spielberg, which just blows my mind. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I don't know. More, it is a thing when people know something that gives them something to pick on and talk to. So I'm asking myself, how would I have felt about this season of Sisters and the last two seasons of Sisters if I had no idea that there was a writing room? I believe that I would have said, "Whoa, his writing got a lot better." I think that's what I would have said. So if that's what I would have said, then maybe other people may have said the exact opposite. Oh my God, Tyler's writing just got trashed, because there were people who loved the way it was. They just were. Um, so I think I would have noticed the difference though.
Uh, your Oval Angel says people were generally optimistic that we would no longer be on a merry-go-round to nowhere. I haven't seen that comparison. Hmm, that's all I got. Yeah, got anything else?
That's all from me.
Man, has been amazing as always. Oh man, we've been on for like 2 hours. This has been
Three,
amazing, guys. Make sure to
3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah, it didn't
Oh
feel like,
wow.
especially when you like the content that you're looking at. It didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
yeah, guys, and you just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you tune into All Things Ruthless, where she tackles some hard conversations and hard television. Tell them how to find you, Tika.
Yes, y'all can definitely
Yes,
find
yes.
me at All Things Ruthless. But tomorrow night, make sure you guys tap in at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because we're headed down to Club Eden, y'all. It's virtual Club Eden. We're going to talk about all the Queen's men. We going to talk about Madam's freak off situation. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow night. So make sure y'all tap in 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you, Jeff and Daryl, absolutely for having me. I absolutely appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, thank you. Stay blessed. Later. Love you all. We
Good night,
out.
everybody.
Hey.